Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Untante Musk, and I'm back to bring you a review of The Comet is Coming, Hyperdimensional Expansion Beam. Before I kick things off, I want to give a shout out to Nene the Rebel with her new track, Watch How I Move, featuring Ashley and Chinny. Hopefully I'm saying that correct. This track has like a lot of energy to it within the vocal performances, clever bars, and I do dig the inclusion of Balkan music on a drill beat. Good job. So yeah, definitely check them out. Now onto the review. The Comet is Coming is a three-piece UK band with Betamax and Danalog, I hope I'm saying that correct, and Shabaka Hutchins. Now, Beta does the production alongside Dana. Dana is also on electric piano and field recordings, while Shabaka does the sax and the tenor. And I was introduced to this band through their sophomore album, which was Trust Life Force of the Deep Mystery. And I was blown away by it with the inclusion of electronic music and the inclusion of jazz rock, Afro jazz, all thrown on here. It just blew me away. And this album is 11 tracks, almost 44 minutes, definitely longer than its predecessor, and definitely kicking ass and taking me places. And I do mean taking me places. Like, and trust me, if you're into jazz, which you probably are because this is a jazz album, but if you're also into Afrobeat, if you're also into electronic music, I don't see why you wouldn't like this. You've came to the right place. Come on in. But I will say this. If you like your jazz, soothing, if you like your jazz to be nice and cool and breezy, you're brushing your teeth, you're about to go to bed, you throw some jazz on to relax, this isn't that type of party. No, this is more like jazz music that you go to the club to. And in order to go to this club, you have to get on a rocket ship or a flying car. Either one works. Punch it at high speed and then blast off into space, because that's what the jazz club is. And just enjoy yourself. Take in all the instrumentation here. We got plenty of percussive sax. We got plenty of synths. We got hot space alien babes over there. Don't worry, they're friendly. And hot alien guys too. If you're into that, it doesn't really matter who I'm talking to right now. Another thing too I dig about this is, sure, it's electronic, but it's not electronic to the point where I feel like robots have created this, like a life force or a form of life has created this thing. Because if there's one thing I hate, it's when it's supposed to be in a raw form, like rock, jazz, or what have you, but the soul is just stripped out of it because it's just so electronic, so edited, so watered down. But none of that is here. Like, there is some effects, don't get me wrong, you do get some reverb on here, but I feel it complements it in opposed to just making it soulless. I feel it kind of adds soul to it, kind of gives it a personality, like a very nocturnal feeling right here. Like, the synths really create this landscape of nocturnal atmosphere, and the jazz, the saxophone really brings that personality to the table. Like, it just adds that punch that it needs. Like, the synths, the drums, they're already doing their thing. They're already creating a whole new universe, a very nocturnal, very spacey sci-fi universe, and the sax just gives it that punch, that feel, that nightlife, the spice to the nightlife. That's what it brings. And also, I would feel that not only does this album, would this album appeal to jazz fans, but also experimental hip hop fans as well, because you definitely do get a Flying Lotus vibe here. And sure, there's not, you know, foreign objects being sampled here, but if you guys are watching, hit the like, subscribe button, and you know, hit the bell as well. Okay, wait, what am I saying? But if you're watching, do that, because that'd be awesome. But on to the next portion of this. And don't get me wrong, I do dig the classics. I do dig Roland Kirk, Mingus, Coltrane, Davis, or what have you, and Herbie Hancock, who is definitely an influence on here. But Herbie, I would say, really punched things up a little bit. He definitely spiced things up in the jazz realm. But you know, as for the others who were like more bare bones but still made it great, they made it great. So I feel when it comes to music, to new music, why not expand? Why not add a different texture? Why not be experimental with the instrumentation? Why not add more? Why not bring more elements? And they're definitely doing that here. And I feel that's what needs to be done when it comes to certain genres. Just add to it, make an amalgamation, and just bring it to like a whole new level, a whole new plateau. Because the spacey synths on here are really creating an atmosphere. And the inclusion of Afrobeat on here is really giving it that punch and that definitely raw feel here. And the sax playing on here is just incredible. The arpeggios really bring out a riveting energy that is definitely needed. Well, that I need. Like, because like I said, this is like club music for outer space. But you know, you create your own adventure too. Feel free to do so. Don't just take my adventure. Let's be a little creative here, because when I go back to this thing, I may have another adventure. But still, I believe the fun comes from the compositions, the wild compositions, the synths, and just how much of a picture like it creates, how much of an illustration it creates. Like there's a track called Angel of Darkness on here that really brings a spiritual jazz element. But like when I hear it, I'm like, okay, I've taken a break, I'm walking outside the club, and this hot space alien girl is like, okay, take this and just relax. So I take it, and all of a sudden I am just in a meditative state. Like I'm at like a new high here. And in this meditative state, like these slow pounding drums come in, and there's almost a doom element here. Like I feel like they've created doom jazz in a way because of how dark things get. Like I feel like I'm having this religious experience, and I'm not very religious, by the way, but I'm having this religious experience, and I am just awaiting something supernatural to happen here. And it feels kind of ominous, but it might be good. I don't know. It's just a very wild, dark, crazy experience. Like something drastic is approaching. And if you're going to listen to this thing, do keep in mind there are some parts that, and these are gripes of mine, where the production can be, or like the playing can be a little tedious. I do feel some instrumentation isn't as tight as it could with the rhythm section. It's not as tight as it could be. And I do feel there are some tracks that or I would say a track or two that like sounds kind of EDM-ish, not really in a good way. But other than that, this thing kicks ass. Great instrumentation, a fantastic album experience. Definitely like a sci-fi jazz experience. Like this is like sci-fi jazz right here. And I am feeling a 4 out of 5 on this one. If you've given it a listen, what did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? And why? Muntante Musk, the comet is coming. Hyperdimensional expansion beam. Till next time.